So while our aim is to speedily move down alert levels safely, we also need to be focused on the future, on getting back to level 1, but in a sustained way and not rushing there, only having to bounce out of it soon after. Advice put to us today suggests we should be cautious about moving to level 1 immediately, and that it would be prudent to continue to monitor case numbers for a short while longer. That's why, on the advice of the Director-General, Cabinet has decided on a short extension to the current restrictions of alert level 2.5 for Auckland and level 2 for the rest of the country. But I do want to signal what the likely next decisions are. For Auckland, Cabinet will review the current level 2.5 settings at our meeting on Monday the 21st of September, with a view to increase gathering limits for Auckland if we are in a similar position with containing the cluster. If that change was agreed, this would then come into effect from Wednesday the 23rd of September. That gives us time to rewrite the orders and gazette them. For the rest of the country, while we retain the status quo for now, Cabinet has agreed in principle that 11:59 p.m. on Monday the 21st of September, the rest of New Zealand will move to alert level 1. This is contingent on cases tracking as they are and maintaining the containment we have seen. The move will be confirmed on Monday when Cabinet meets again. I know some of you may have questions as to why the rest of the country hasn't moved to level 1 just yet and why we're making an in-principle decision to leave that move for another week. Modelling done for the Ministry of Health continues to suggest around a 25% chance of cases moving outside of the Auckland region. So while the cases are currently contained in Auckland, with interregional travel open, there does remain a risk of spreading the virus to the rest of the country. As I said, we haven't had many days without new cases appearing in Auckland, and it only requires one person travelling and attending a super spreader event somewhere else in the country, and we could be looking at further restrictions elsewhere. So the level 2 precautions we have in place continue to act as a safety barrier for flare-ups in the rest of New Zealand. On the issue of travel, I can also announce today a change of physical distancing restrictions on planes and public transport. As a result of the extra measures we have in place at level 2 in Auckland, and in particular the good uptake and compliance of our requirement that people wear a mask on public transport, today I confirm that we will ease physical distancing requirements on planes and public transport. So from today, public transport operators, including airlines, buses and trains, do not need to maintain any seating restrictions or passenger capacity limits at level 2. Mask use will continue to be compulsory and has been key in the recommendation by the Director-General that this change is safe to occur. I know this change will make a real difference to Air New Zealand and those parts of the country seeking increased numbers of visitors, and the change may demonstrate the willingness of the government's behalf to constantly review our settings with everyone's health at the top of our minds. On opening up our economy, new data points to good increases in economic activity since the start of level 2.5 in Auckland. Payment and traffic data in Treasury's latest weekly economic update showed economic activity across the Auckland region and the country bounced back to levels experienced under alert level 1 following Auckland's move out of level 3. This shows that as a country we've got better at adapting to shopping local and logistics and keeping our economy moving, ultimately outperforming countries that decided against an elimination strategy. It's further proof that the plan works and that the best approach to a healthy economy is still getting the virus under control. This is a global pandemic, and the global economic outlook is weak, but continuing our elimination strategy based on strong and well-targeted public health measures allows economic activity in New Zealand to resume sooner than would otherwise be the case, and sooner than many other countries around the world. The counter of this is also true, and that late restrictions or those lifted too early have allowed the exponential spread of the virus and led to more severe lockdowns that restrict economic activity longer. So our plan is working, but it needs just a little bit more time. Like last time when we moved from level 2 to level 1, with caution, we experienced a strong bounce back in economic activity, which is what we're seeking again, protecting our current gains, expanding on them, and keeping people safe from the virus remains the best long-term strategy for our country. As we see major second waves globally, ours has been relatively small and contained. The guidelines everyone has followed has kept us safe. It saved lives and helped get the economy moving quickly. We played the short game well because we had our eye on the future, on our lives back at level 1, and making the most of the global opportunities that would create. We now need to keep our eyes on that prize and take actions to match that so we can get to level 1 again, and we will.